A few years ago, one of my now closest friends said something that really resonated with me. And that was that we are the sum of the 5 people we hang out with the most. That really made me think about all of my current friendships at the time and all of my friendships now, and hopefully all of my future friendships. Because, I mean, anyone who's gone through life has met a lot of people. And often when we're starting out in like high school and stuff like that, we don't really get to choose our friends too much. They're kind of restricted to people who are local to us. And I guess maybe nowadays with the internet, it's a little bit easier to get online friends, but I think there is a lot of value in having real life. Like, online is real life. I don't want to get into that right now. I think there's value in having friends that are locationally close to you as well. Anyway, ever since they said that, I've really considered my friendships. And some of the friendships that I've considered are with people that are really respectable and they're very well spoken. And those are the kind of people that I want to be like. I want to be someone who's really well spoken and communicates really well, has boundaries that are enforced with understanding. Because some people enforce their boundaries with explosive emotions, and I think that's the worst way to do it. And I've seen that so much in my life, and I never want to make someone feel the way that someone who does things that way can make people feel. And thinking about my friendships and all that, there are some people that I just don't really communicate with anymore. And part of it is because I'm just on the other side of the planet now. I live in Japan and I was raised in Connecticut, the US. So pretty much as most opposite as you can get. But anyway, part of the other half perhaps would be me being very picky with who I hang out with and who I want to be like. And this is one thing that leaving home can really do for you, because it's a hard reset. You got no one. If at least if you do it the way I did it, you're starting out fresh. And now I've made 2 friends in particular who are just the world to me. And I've made a bunch of other cool people. I've met a bunch of other cool people, made a bunch of other cool friends. And Kali. Oh man, I'm getting distracted by the bee. It's just so cute. But yeah, I've made friends with people who are just who I want to be like. And recently I've also been going to a bunch of like events, trying to meet people. So like some sporting events, I'm going to like a book club soon, and just all kinds of things that I'm hoping to meet cool people with. But the interesting part is now that I'm meeting new people and like starting to make new friends, I really am just coming back to this idea of how I'm the sum of the people I hang out with the most. And some of the people, I mean, people are people. You're going to vibe with some people. You're not going to vibe with some people. That's life. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that person necessarily speaking. It's just that they're not for you. And, I've run into people who aren't for me. But I didn't realize, that's kind of one of my points that I wish I could kind of improve, is realizing when people aren't for me a little bit sooner. Would have prevented a lot of stuff from my previous video, but I see it happening again now, and I also see them bringing out behaviors in me that I'm not necessarily like proud of, or like behaviors that I just don't want to do. I don't want to participate in. And it really just has me just constantly thinking about, if I hang out with these people all the time, I'm going to become like these people. So I think the natural solution is to hang out with them less, which is kind of rough. I mean, I want to make friends, but if they're going to be not productive to who I want to be as a person, then I think that's perhaps the price to pay. But also, perhaps there's an in-between with a balance of mindfulness and kind of understanding how they're likely to interact with you and how you're likely to react, and to try to go into interactions being less reactive. Because I noticed that usually when a behavior I don't like is happening, it's because I'm being reactive instead of really thinking about my actions. So that's probably part of it. But also, just don't make them one of the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? Like, I think it's okay to have some friends that you hang out with every now and then that aren't the perfect people to hang out with, because there's only so many people that you're gonna interact with in your life. So obviously you don't need 30 people who are like the perfect people for you. You really only need a couple of quality friends, and you're kind of golden, right? How many friends do you need? How many friends do you have time for? So yeah, I think it's something to keep in mind, but perhaps not overreact to per se. So hopefully that makes sense. Maybe it's helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.